Here's my new buddy, Craig. Craig is a Galapagos tortoise. He's kind of a big fella, but he's just a kid. He's only 25 years old, and these tortoises can often live to be well over 100. And he's such a nice guy, he shares his habitat with emus. Emus are kind of like ostriches in that they are feathered birds. They have little bitty wings, but they're flightless. In our next story, we're going to meet some normally flightless animals who, through the help of some special volunteers, are flying to new homes.
Hi, I'm Jeff Wall. I'm a pilot. I fly recreationally and I fly for Pilots and Paws. I'm based in Mississippi. I actually started pretty late in life. I was in my 40s before I started taking lessons and learning to fly. And I'll tell you, I greatly regret waiting that long. And so my advice for anyone who's interested, who thinks they might be interested to fly, I usually say, if you think you are, you are. Having spent years actually of flying with an instructor, training and learning, and I kind of like, where do I go now? I kind of honestly ran out of good excuses to fly, if you will. And I personally, I think the pilot community generally thinks you're not safe if you're not flying regularly. So without those justifications to fly regularly, I was looking for a good reason. Good morning, thanks for calling the Tire Depot. This is Jeff, I'm gonna help you. At my store, I own the Tire Depot, or one of the owners of the Tire Depot. I had a customer. I was having this very conversation about running out of excuses to fly, and she told me about an organization called Pilots and Paws and asked me to please check into it. She's not a pilot, but she was rescue-minded and just said it's just a great organization. So I looked it up, and so the main focus of the Pilots and Paws website is their forum where users are registered and you can communicate on there. Rescues, people with animals can request flights, not limited to dogs at all, it's any kind of animals. The entire organization is a registered charity, and the marriage of pilots and the animals that are being transferred was something that was probably stumbled upon by accident. The founder's name is Debbie Boyes. She lives in North Carolina, and a little bit over 10 years ago, she had lost a Doberman pinscher that she loved and found a couple in Florida that were adoptable and went about trying to figure out, how do I get these dogs from Florida? She had a friend that owned an airplane and said, hey, would you mind flying down and getting these dogs for me? And her friend said, sure, I'll do that. So he flies down, picks the dogs up, flies home. And she said, boy, that just was remarkably easy. I wonder if there's not an opportunity to maybe have pilots do this. So at this point, there are many thousands of users. Just walk him out to the ramp and we'll load him up and go from there.
Come here. I had the pleasure of taking care of Nelson last night. Nelson is actually from Lake Charles, Louisiana. He's on his way to Chattanooga, Tennessee today, courtesy of Pilots and Paws pilot Jeff Wall. I got involved with Pilots and Paws through a friend, and recognizing that there was much value in the service that he was providing, and it just seemed like a very easy, simple thing to do, which made a really big difference, and that is by fostering a puppy or a dog or a cat that was in transit. It's no cost to me. I got a chance to love on a puppy or a kitten that can continue to share their love with people.
I initially went on the Pilots and Paws message board and looked for flights that were going through the area or waited for emails. I've flown for about a dozen rescuers that I know very well, that are organized, that know what they're doing. And at this point, the majority of my flights come via direct request. I don't ever have a Thursday off when I don't have somebody asking me to fly. I usually have 3 or 4 or 5 people that are asking if there's any possibility I can squeeze it in. If I happen to be going out to one destination with animals, it's great if I can pick more up and bring them back the other direction, or if I can make a stop along the way and pick up an additional animal and carry them. I just like to do that. It's just more efficient.
Okay, now this is actually the first Pilots and Paws transport for me. Usually I transport by car, but this is the first one coming in by air. You know, a lot of these dogs that I transport going across country, it takes 2 to 3 days to, everybody volunteer on a leg, and they have overnights, 2 or 3 overnights, so it's a long process, but if you can do it by plane, that is great.
This is Latte, and she's going to a temporary foster in Mississippi where she'll get spayed. I got her fully vetted here. We couldn't get her spayed because she was getting on a plane too soon. And then she'll go to a longer-term foster in Oklahoma where they'll get her ready for her forever family. And she's just a doll.
I'll be honest, I got into this from a flying perspective, but I didn't realize just how much I was going to enjoy meeting the people involved in rescue. I've met some fantastic people that have become some of my very best friends, and just honest, caring, not your typical people. It's just been a real nice experience, the people I've met doing this. It's just a fantastic hobby. It's something that I truly love. It's an engaging hobby. And when you're in the cockpit, you're very, very busy. You don't have time to worry about the stresses of home life and worry about what's going on at work and whatnot. You're engaged in the moment. Your job is flying the airplane. It's nice. It gets you away from stresses of life.
One of the most favorite things about being involved with Pilots and Paws is knowing that it's making a difference in the lives of not only the animals, but the people that are adopting them, because I believe that animals make a huge difference in the lives of people.
I've discovered that flying volunteer missions is actually the very reason I fly. It's the only reason I fly. I mean, with the exception of 2 or 3 flights a year that Cynthia and I take, it's all of my flying now. And that's not an accident. It's just a very cool thing to have a day off, to do something I love, but also doing something that helps other people.
Thanks for joining us. If you like what you see, subscribe to Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Till next time, I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.
Down Mississippi.